Hi, welcome and thank you for listening to the Fearless Adventure Podcast. My name is Veerle and I'm taking you with me on a journey. In this podcast, I will give you a glimpse into my location-independent free life. I will tell you about the challenges of online entrepreneurship as a nomad, about finding the right mindset to grow, and how you can experience real freedom in your own non-nomadic life. My name is Veerle and welcome to Fearless Adventure. Today, I want to record a quick episode for you about a question that I get a lot in my DMs or during my coaching sessions, and it has to do with selling. People feel a lot of resistance with selling or don't like to sell in their Instagram stories because they don't want to be pushing themselves into people, or they're just not feeling it. I don't know. There's a lot of resistance going on when it comes to selling, and I want to explain to you why it is you have that resistance and what you can do to overcome that resistance. So, first of all, I want you to ask, what is it that you're selling? Do you feel connected to what it is that you're selling? Because a lot of people made products or have services that were born out of what they're used to do instead of what they really love or like. And therefore, it is hard to explain what it is that you do. Or it might be that you can explain perfectly what it is that you do, but you just don't have the passion. For me, with my volunteer coordinating on festivals, I had the same thing. It was easy for me. I kind of liked it, but I didn't love it. So when people asked me what I was doing, I always said, yeah, I'm working at festivals. And people would go crazy when they heard that. And they were so envious. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Don't like it. For me, the energy wasn't there anymore. So when people asked me what I was doing or that I needed to sell myself with a new festival, it didn't feel right. There wasn't a fire burning within me to convey my message about why I was doing this anymore. So I want you to really look within, and are you still connected with what you're selling? Because if it is built because of the skills that you have, but you don't love it anymore, you might want to change your products or your services. So if you're not feeling it anymore, then you might want to think of something else that you want to do. And you might want to dig into what you do love, what gets you going, and see if you can do something with that. So I don't know if I want to get into an example here. I guess my festival work is the biggest example, and I didn't love it anymore. So I started to look at something that I did like instead of love. So I started doing Pinterest coaching consulting, and I didn't love that. So I couldn't really sell it. I did sell a lot of it, but that was because I was doing it for years. So I knew what I was selling, but I didn't feel the joy anymore. So that's another example of selling something that you don't really like anymore. And now with what I'm doing with the coaching, the mindset coaching, the freedom coaching, the business coaching, what I'm doing, I love it. And you hear it in my voice. And I can easily sell on what I'm doing right now because I am connected to it. So the first thing that I want you to do is look at what it is that you're selling as, and look if you still like it. And when you don't know what you're selling, when you're not sure what your product is, because there's a difference between not being connected to it or don't know because you're starting something new. When you're someone who is starting something new, just talk to people about it, because when you're talking about it, it will get a certain shape. When you start taking action, when you start with messy action, it's better than standing still and do nothing. You get inspired when you're doing it. And this is especially for the starting coaches out there, because you need to have some experience, because otherwise you're going to tell yourself that you don't have enough experience to start a coaching business. So you need that in order to get it. So when you're starting out, just try to talk with as much people as you can. Maybe offer your services for free for a while so you get your feet in the game and you know what you're doing and you get connected to it. So when you're not connected to what you're selling, you either have to change your product or you have to just start taking messy action. The second reason why And it's kind of what I said earlier, but the second reason why you're not in love with selling is that you're disconnected from your mission, from your why. And this goes really hand in hand with the next one that I'm going to tell. So I'm going to probably connect the dots a little bit in explaining what I mean with disconnected from your mission, your why. If you are in your business for a while, you are going to get disconnected from your mission because you're going to follow the expert with what they're saying that you should do. You're going to follow a strategy instead of following your own path. And you have to stay connected with what it is that you love to do, because otherwise you're going to be drowning in work that you don't even like. So ask yourself what it is that you wanted to change in the world. For me, I want to help entrepreneurs with their energy. I want to help them loving their job and make sure that besides their work, they have a happy life as well. I want to reduce their work and have a healthier life work balance. And that's what I stand for. And I know where it comes from. It is connected to my fatigue syndrome. I know I had that wrong energy balance for and work balance for such a long time. So for me, my mission is connected with my past. So every time I am not feeling what I'm doing, I have to check in with myself. Is this still connected by what I'm doing? So am I still helping people with finding the right work-life balance? Am I still helping people get in the right energy? If I'm not doing that, it doesn't make sense. So I have to connect with what I'm doing, and I can do that by looking at my own past, and I can look at it with what do I want to help people with. And that's the third option of what you have when you want to fall back in love with selling is focus on what you're bringing instead of what you are experiencing. A lot of people, when they think of selling, are focusing on what they are doing, and then especially on how people might perceive them, or what action they do have to take, but they're not focusing on what it is that they're selling. If I'm selling my one-on-one coaching and I focus on how I'm doing that, on what kind of stories I need to make, or what message I need to convey, or how I'm doing that, it's not going to work. I need to focus on what it is my clients are feeling when they're hearing my message. What feeling does my potential client get? It might be that she's not feeling lonely or misunderstood. And when I focus on that feeling, it's so much easier to help them, to convey my message, because I'm so much more connected to it. So focus on how you are helping your clients. If you have a client that is struggling and you want to help them with building their website, or you want to help them with doing their social media, you want to focus on the joy they feel when they don't have to worry about that, or the the feeling they get when they feel that you helping them makes them feel understood, that you, when you're talking to them, they feel that you know what they are going through, and you know what message they want to tell. And if you focus on that feeling from your potential client, it's so much easier to sell. And a lot of people, when they are doing Instagram stories or they have to talk in front of a big audience, they're focusing on, oh, but I might get a red face, or I might stutter, or I might get anxious. And you're focusing internally on yourself, but you have to focus externally. And I have shared this example before with when I was a volunteer coordinator at festivals. Every time I have to give a big presentation, I would just shut down. I would get sick because I didn't want to do it, because I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't confident enough that I could. But the stupid thing is that the first time when I did a presentation like that, I didn't feel that at all, because I was focusing on the message that I was conveying. So focus on what you're bringing to the table instead of what you're anxious about or what might go wrong, because you're listening to your ego when you're focusing on the internally things. So when you're focusing on my face might get red, that's an ego thought. You don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on what you're going to bring, how you're going to help someone, how they're going to feel. And if you sign that contract, client, whatever, how does that make you feel? Because you need to tell your brain that is that it is okay to do that action, to do that, to share that. And you might have to be vulnerable in order to sell your product, but it will pay off in the long run anyway. So focus on that, and you might trick your mind, your ego, into seeing what it is that your higher self feels. And I guess that's a whole other topic that I might want to record another episode about. But I guess you get my message here. You do understand what I'm saying, and you just have to make sure that you feel more connected again to your product or to your customers. So let's conclude this and tell you again what the steps are to what it is that's holding you back and what you might do. So first, see if you know what you're doing and if it's still connected with your mission. If it's not that, then it might be that you don't know what you're doing because you're starting out, and then you just have to start take messy action. And if that doesn't work, shift your focus. So focus on externally instead of internally. And if you do that, you are really gonna fall in love with selling again. And I wanna tell one more thing, that we are always following the experts on how it is that we should sell, but that might not feel aligned with you. And that's why in this episode, I'm not going to give you a roadmap that you should follow. I'm giving you steps so you can figure it out for yourself, what's working for you. And that's one of my main things. It's part of my mission. You have to focus on your own energy. You have to feel aligned to everything that you do. And I cannot tell you what it is that works for you. So you have to figure that out. And if for you it doesn't work to promote your products every day in your stories, don't. But make sure you mention them every once in a while. That might be enough to get people interested. But notice why you are feeling like you don't want to mention them. Because if it's because you're insecure, then you have work to do. If it's because you don't want to overwhelm your Instagram followers with selling all the time, see if there's a way how you can do that without annoying them. And it says something about you. If you feel annoyed by people who sell all the time, look at a way that is it doesn't feel like that for you. I follow a lot of online coaches that sell stuff all the time, and it doesn't feel annoying because I like the imagery, or they always connect it to some knowledge that I can learn from. So find a way that for you it resonates and it works and it feels easier. And the funny thing is, the reason why I recorded this episode is, well, mostly because of my clients who ask me this all the time, but I know I don't like actively selling my stuff in Instagram stories as well. So I'm not doing that all the time. Sometimes I mention my products, but it's not even every week. And I want to increase that a little bit more. And I have said that I don't want to sell on the podcast that much. Sometimes I briefly mention it, but I never do a promo block or something like that. But the funny thing is that one of my listeners, one of my followers, she told me that she didn't know that I had these amazing courses, or that she didn't know how she could work with me. So, just to be clear, I'm gonna say my ways of working with me. So, I do have some self study courses. I have the digital detox course and the freedom course. And the digital detox, I think it's clear what it is. It is about spending less time on your phone and be more aware of what you are feeling, what you are doing, and live a more intentional life. So it is about tips and tricks how to be smarter with your phone, how to set your phone in more offline time, stuff like that. So it is practical and it is, well, I think it's motivational as well. So if you want to do that, it's only 33 euros right now. And you can easily buy that on my website at fearlessbusiness.nl. And I do have the Freedom course, and it's a little bit about becoming a digital nomad, but it's more about how to experience freedom in your life. And I know that for a lot of people, there's different ways of feeling free. It can be in your work, it can be in your life, it can be financially. And this course has that all, and it has the steps, what you can do to figure out what you want to do, especially when you want to become an entrepreneur. I have certain steps that you can do, certain assignments, and it's the best step if you want to start with this. And the course is 222 euros, and you can buy it at my site at fearlessbusiness.nl. Then I have a live course, and that's my baby. It's gonna start on the 17th of August 2021, and it's gonna be a bi-weekly live course, and it's called Fiercely in Alignment. And I'm gonna teach you all the steps on how to live a more connected, a more grounded life from alignment. It's the most spiritual course that I have, and it's gonna be so amazing. I'm gonna be teaching lots of it from the beach in Gran Canaria, and I can't wait. It's gonna be magical. There's gonna be a little bit human design in it. There's gonna be, I don't know, it's forming while I'm selling it. And you can look at the sales page, and you can find it at fearlessbusiness.nl/FIA, FIA, because it's called Fiercely in Alignment. And you can get a course right now for 222 euros, and the price is gonna go up to 555. So make sure you buy it while you can with this discount. And the last way how you can work with me is with one coaching. And it can be that we talk a lot about mindset. We can talk a lot about building your business, building funnels, how to promote your stuff, all the things business. But it can be about freedom, about starting your own business. And I have so much experience with all these topics that I can help you in those directions. And if you want to know more about that, just go to my website, or I will put a link in the show notes. You can find the show notes at fearlessbusiness.nl/53. And I guess that's it. I wanted to share this because I know I rarely talk about my products, and I wanted to promote it a little bit, especially on a podcast episode that's about selling. So I hope you didn't mind me sharing this for a second, and otherwise it was just a couple of minutes and you get a lot of free studies here on the podcast. So hope you are fine with this. Please let me know. And if you do have any questions about the courses or the coaching, just reach out. You can always find me on Instagram at fearless. That's Veerlez. And otherwise, you can always go to the podcast website. All right. I would love to catch up with you soon, and I'll see you soon. Ciao. Thank you for getting along on my journey and listening to another episode of Fearless Adventure. Would you like more information on the topic of this episode? Then take a look at the show notes on fearlessadventure.nl. Give your opinion or want to screenshot this episode on Instagram, you can find me and tag me on Instagram at Fearless. That is Veerlez. Fearless. Can't wait to hear from you, and see you next time.